So, this morning I went to the shift 1 meeting. Numbers were a little low, expected, right? Drinking night last night. Peters was there, as was Vic, Den, etc. Pretty typical meeting. At the end of it, me and Michael Rizal was with me. We kind of stayed back. We're just chatting, and we started hearing some like screaming coming from Tyler, and we're like, what the fuck? We then go into the lobby and we see Justice Angel walking out, and she's screaming something along the lines of like, don't make me file an injunction and then put you in jail or some shit like that, something along those lines. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? And so, you know, I knew it was going to be spicy, but I didn't really understand the topic. So naturally, I asked. I go around the back because I was going to drive around with Tyler anyways. And I noticed that there's like 10 LSPD officers inside. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Tyler's like beside himself, right? He's cooked. He's got to go, whatever. And they go on to say that apparently there was a shooting yesterday evening. There was a time that was being given for 800 months. They reduced it down to 500. I guess Dan had mentioned it to a marshal. Marshal brought it up to Angel. Angel went to Tyler, said, what the fuck are you doing? Right? Because I think they wanted to make a baseline like max limit or some shit like that. And Tyler, according, this is their POV, right? Was, give me 1 sec, Nino.
Oh, Dad, is that Mayor Nino?
Hey, let me call you back. I'm in the middle of something very important, yeah?
No problem, Mr. Mayor.
All right,
no
you.
rush.
From their POV, right? Because I don't know what I was actually said. I'm going off what the officer said. Is that Tyler asked, where, like, why do we not have discretion? And secondly, where does it say in legislation that we can't do this? At which point it started to get heated and it turned into a screaming match. Whatever, right? I thought that was bad. I get in the car. Tyler has to go to fucking watch Beetlejuice. I get in the car with Vic. We're just driving, whatever. And that's when Miguel Elmarian ends out tweeting the following. To all criminals, Justice Dictator Angel, this is 2 hours ago, is deciding to remove cops' abilities to reduce or give time off. If you see her, please, and I mean please, have a word, don't stand dis. So I call Miguel and I'm like, what is this about exactly? He tells me a member of BCSO, which I now think is the fucking bozo that's like tweeting memes during a fucking funeral. Yeah. Got in contact with Raul, which then told Miguel about the meeting that Angel had with Blaine County afterwards about this matter. So he leaked that to fucking Miguel and company.
What? Hold on a minute. What the fuck is Ventura saying right now?
Yep.
He's on some
Oh, he was
shit right
tweeting
now.
that during the funeral, by the way. I took photos.
I'm about ready to tell him to get off duty.
Yeah, this guy
Oh,
is
it gets worse. Wait, hold on.
Boy.
Oh, we're just starting. So, I don't know if it was him. I'm speculating it's him, and this is, and I'm going to tell you why. So, I didn't jump to any conclusions. I didn't weigh in with LSPD. I didn't do shit, right?
Oh my lord.
So we then go and I get to City Hall. I tell Vic to drop me off because I'm like, I need to find out exactly what's happening. So I call Angel, and I could not have been more cordial, and said, can you tell me what's happening? I only know what's at Twada. Giving her the full stage to tell me what's going on. I even took the middle ground and said where it came out to, and what I concluded with her is, tell me if I'm wrong, is that you believe, even though in the past cops had the choice to reduce fine and time, that things are different now. You do not want cops to do this. There's been a misunderstanding. You're going to write new legislation to reduce fine and time. And mind you, she started tweeting this shit as soon as it went public, right? She started, as soon as Miguel's tweet went out, she was like, I'm writing new legislation, da, da, da. That is not the energy that was being given to LSPD previous, right? None of that was mentioned to anybody. And I know this because Vic even brought it up, that none of that was mentioned. So now she's already backtracking. I call her up. I'm like, what's going on? And my interpretation with the most like, the most charitable way I can put it is that she wanted, even though she said that it was illegal for what PD was doing. I asked her, and I was pressing her on this because she kept saying what they did was wrong, and she feels this way, right? Like it was very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was very like it wasn't objective, right? She just didn't like it. And I said, but is it illegal? Because that's an important detail. Is what they did wrong, was it illegal? And she wouldn't answer that question. And I kept saying,
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
If legislation is being changed because Angel doesn't like it or ain't feeling it, the system is kind of broken in my opinion.
Exactly. Now, and I've already felt this way for a while, from the contest shit to finding out that 30 pieces of legislation were altered without any notice to anybody. But it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. So, and that's why I kept prodding back at it. I'm like, so are you telling me that what the cops did was illegal? Are you telling me that any cop that has reduced time in the past did so illegally? And only at the end, she kept going, oh, well, I don't want to go back and like potentially prosecute all these people. I don't want to go do this. I'm like, so are you saying it was illegal? And she finally says yes. Okay. She then, illegal? She says that anytime you guys reduce the time, it was illegal.
How?
I just needed her to say that, right? I don't agree with it, but I was getting her to take a stance. It's just, she's pulling it out of her ass. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, up until in this timeline, right? She actually went out on her own accord and started, and this is where I started getting involved, is she started spinning the narrative that the mayors control the fine and the time. Hold on. It's in here in this like fucking massive. So she not only was backtracking on the legislation, but she started to feign responsibility. So that's why I originally gave call, because I'm like, now I got to get involved, and not to mention I got to get involved anyways, because fine and time naturally have an effect on the citizenry. So what happens next? I go ask her, what is this fine and time thing? You know I can't do that, right? And she's like, of course you can. You got the sliders. Andy has the time. You have the fine. And I say, but I know, first off, my slider is off. This is the important bit. She is acknowledging on this phone call that I have one slider, Andy has the other slider. I then go on to tell her that when I spoke to Soze, He said it either doesn't work or we're not supposed to change it, which is why I've never touched this thing. And my main motive there was, can you, like, I'm trying to hint, can you not go around telling people that we are responsible when we haven't been touching these? She then says, you can change it. And I asked her 4 times, Moss. 4 times. To the extent she said that if anything happens to it, it's on me. She said this verbatim.
Wait, say it again?
I told her that I haven't touched this, that Andy's got the jail slider. I have the fine slider. I make it clear that I'm told that I can't touch this, or I shouldn't touch it, or it doesn't work. Maybe it's changed. I don't know. No one told me otherwise. I'm hinting like, can you not go around saying that we're responsible? Because I don't even think Andy knows this, right? Because if this was communicated to me, I'm assuming it's communicated to her. Stop pointing fingers at us. She tells me, no, of course you can. You can change it. If anything happens, it's on me. I asked her 4 times, maybe more. So I said, so I can reduce this down right now. You sure? Yes. I bring it down to 50%. I then go and make a state announcement.
And what does this slider do exactly?
It reduces the fine of all charges.
So if we find someone, say $100, are they actually only paying $50?
No. It changes it in the MDT.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, it gets spicier. Oh, we haven't even gotten to the boiling hot lava. So now we're going through this, and people on Twitter like Nino, whatever, people are going to say shit, right? Ventura goes on there and starts complaining that a dead cop is worth 1 across. Now, mind you, I'm not thinking dead cops or anything. It's just the fines, right? This is a way to counter something so negative that's going around the city.
Okay, but that's a silly statement because a dead officer is... Did all of BCSO go off duty? No. They just removed themselves from dispatch. Okay.
Yeah.
The dead officer is 0-0, meaning we determine that in court.
Yes. So, people are memeing on Twitter like Vitera or whatever the fuck his name is like, oh, great. Now Nino's targeting cops because they're only worth 1 across. None of this has been said, mind you, right? There was no inference for this. He's framing it himself, right? So, whatever. I now take notice, and I'm like, man, did it really go down that low? How does he know this? And he goes, Nino, stop playing with the sliders. That's when I take out my MDT, and I'm like, oh, shit, is it updating live? So I go back to document the existing fines and times. I go and take a photograph of everything because naturally some of these things may be misaligned. I then dial it back, and I notice, wait a minute, why is the Marshall gun revolver 50,000? Because it's at 50. So I call Angel and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? She's like, hey, now she's claiming and this is what I mean. There's like, it's so fucked. Is now all of a sudden she's saying, oh, I didn't know it was for the county. And I'm like, bro, we literally just talked about this like 30 minutes ago. You knew this. You're the one who brought it up to my attention. She's saying, oh, I didn't know you're supposed to talk to her. And I'm like, yeah, you know, we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, did you change any of these things? And she goes, yeah, because you brought it down to 50%, she went and altered the price of what the marshals are involved in. And the charges on like I forgot which one, like involving like officer shootings. And I'm like, Angel,
Doesn't that kind of defeat the entire purpose of everything?
yes. And I'm like, I'm like, what are you doing? So now I'm trying to understand like what the hell is happening. And I'm like, I ask, I'm like, why did you do that? And she's like, well, all these cops are calling me and complaining they're worth one across. Already caught in 4K who it was. So a Blaine County guy, the same one who's been doing dumb shit, fucking gives her a call and she goes and flips like all this. And I ask her, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, listen, I have to go to a funeral. Can you go, can you just put it back? Let me talk to the officers and we'll figure out a plan of action. She goes, I can't attend that meeting. I'm like, okay, well, can you wait? And she's like, no, she doesn't want to do it. And she's like, I think you should put it back to 125. I'm like, you're asking me? She says, she's asking me. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I start saying, what is the point of you changing the time if the sliders are meant for us? And she goes, well, I'm allowed to do that. Maybe you should put it back. Now she's trying to effectively, for lack of a better word, I wouldn't say blackmail, but more like coerce her, I mean, into changing the sliders if I don't want these fines and times changing. Now, consider the backlash of this is that now I've done something on her behest and she's telling me I gotta change it or else. So I fucking popped off. And I said, are you using any fucking logic when you're making your decisions? Because, like, you're 1 minute telling me to change the sliders and next minute, oopsie, and you're changing all the fucking time. And she goes, well, maybe you need to start talking to people. I don't know. She said some fucking brain dead shit. And I'm just like about like not communicating with people. I'm like, what do you think I did when I called you? And what did you do when you changed the finding time and didn't give me a fucking phone call? And maybe that you fucked up and then he called me and tried to have a fucking conversation about this. And now it was just a fucking massive load of fucking projection. So now we're sort of at a spot here where I had to go tell everybody that the DOJ had me go move the shit back. So I don't even know where this is at this point, quite frankly, because I feel like the mask is off and, you know, it's like there's you know, I don't know what to tell you. So, which makes me wonder, did the gun charge change? Oh, yeah. At the end, by the way, she ended up ordering me to change it back. So.
Can she do that?
That's a great question.
Do you report to Angel?
No.
Then how can she tell you to do anything?
I don't know.
I mean,
I did it out of
where are the
threat.
checks and balances?
I have no idea.
Because I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like the DOJ should be able to arbitrarily change things because they're not feeling it. I feel like there needs to be some kind of check as to whether or not these changes are okay and that it shouldn't be just done on a whim. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Look, I've been biting my fucking tongue for like 6 weeks, right? And like, this is just something else. Being ordered by the justice to move sliders that I am responsible for. Because someone asks her to contest legislation she had previously told me she's going to wait to court to do, she changes the law right then and there. You know what else she told me? I forgot. is
isn't
that
this the whole point of like the docket thing? So
Yes.
that way,
it's a power trip.
I don't feel like she can just change legislation in the law because she feels like it. Shouldn't it go through the like approval or contest process?
That's a great question. Because why would you contest?
What gives her the authority to change
I
laws?
don't think anyone knows what she's doing. And I finally got to that point today
Where's the
where she's
transparency from her end?
There is
like,
none.
How do we know she isn't just changing things?
she is without telling anybody. We already know this. It's already been documented. I just haven't made a big deal out of it. I didn't make a big deal out of it because I'm like, listen, they're still trying to figure shit out. But today, that's just fucked. You know what she told me on the phone? Is she did not want to wait till after this funeral to talk to the cops about it. See which ones are concerning. She, out of her own whim, changed the fines and times because that's within a scope. So, effectively, just as she's been trying to manipulate shit, in my opinion, by taking Blaine's side for literally everything and then playing fucking victim, right? The same shit happened today. The worst thing about it is, all it took is a officer from Blaine County to frame that this is occurring so that cops get killed, and this is her argument now. At no point did it even come across my mind that cops' lives went down. Because of some twats? You can't wait till after the funeral to have a conversation, change it right now, it's an order? Or what?
I would be really curious to hear.
She
her
said that she was going to put out
articulation.
an injunction. So
yeah,
that
I'd be really curious
so that
to
Blaine
hear
County,
what her articulation for giving time off, how that is illegal. It literally, I looked back at our SOPs.
yeah,
It says in our SOPs that we're able to give up to 50% of time. If like, and this is that hasn't been changed.
She posted legislation saying it's now 35%.
yep.
How does the DOJ dictate how much time we can give off?
I don't know. And the worst thing about it is
Shouldn't that be at officer discretion?
actually, I got to make sure that this gets
So
set up.
what does this mean for? Because sometimes we don't even send people up. We give people.
Hey, Nino.
Press
you know,
release, 30 minutes.
We
Press
30 minutes.
conference.
Hurt.
Find a location, everything.
Okay, would LSPD
Well,
let us
what do
use
we do now
MRPD's
for
room, or
people
should I
No,
find
no,
one
no, no, no. I think
Okay.
out in public. Yep.
in public? Let's see what is it still raining out?
Yeah.
It's still raining. I will find a semi-sheltered spot. I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Give me a photo of the location, and then we'll close it in. I'll set out an announcement.
Sounds good. We'll do.
Okay. Look, Daisy.
So what about people who misdemeanors that we don't even send them up for them? We just fine them.
Doesn't matter.
We have to
The
send
thing is,
everyone up.
There's literally no logic. You should have seen Michael losing his mind the other day when him and I were trying to understand. We were, we had this legislation we wrote up, and it was about like, let me roll back. I don't want you to miss this bit. Is that
Does she
in
just want to
between?
be in control of everything?
That's what it is. How much rope do you give another person before you feel like you can't tug back?
What she's saying in this legislation is everything that we're already doing. It just seems like she wanted to be the one to say that we could do it.
Exactly.
Do you think she's not getting enough attention? Like, you
I
think,
don't know.
You think, like, have people been ignoring her or something? So she's throwing a fit right now?
Well, she mentioned that, like, if someone gets back to me. Like, you know what's so crazy about it? it's crazy you say that, because in that phone call that I had with her, I even said, can we get, like, because the phone call that I originally had with her about the ciders and the way I went after that, I kept asking for clarity. What can I do? Where is my boundaries? You tell me I got none, and then you flip the script. I'm
feel
at
like,
fault somehow.
Shouldn't the federal government tell you what your boundaries
and
are? Why
that's-
the fuck is the DOJ telling you what your boundaries
And
are?
that's when I asked. I'm like, so can we get clarity from the state? And it was like, sure, if they get back to me. And I'm like, bro, like, what are you saying? You're pretty much saying I got to listen to you about every fucking thing you want. And you can't even sit here and give me like an objective, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. You know what I mean? I'm asking for clarity objectively, not how you fucking feel this morning. It's wild when I brought that up. It's like we're dealing with legislation. It needs to be objective. And to even have the inference that things have to be objective and not based on like however, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you don't have criminals come in the cells and they're like, well, I don't feel like going away. This is too much. You don't listen to that. You don't go into a courtroom and say, hey, these charges are too much. It doesn't work that way. But Daisy, she told me that she was going to file an injunction because I was not changed. It kept escalating. It went from, I think you should before you go talk to them. I'm like, yeah, I'll have a conversation with them. I think you should definitely do this right now because, the cops are saying this. And I'm like, are you telling me I need to do this? She wouldn't answer the question. Like, I don't think she understands. Like, I need to know what I can and cannot do. Then she goes, I'm going to file an injunction allowing Blaine County to double the fines.
What?
Yes.
What?
And I'm like, huh?
What would that even... What? So, it doesn't make sense. Like, so... Why would we... Why would they even do that? I mean...
That's when I followed it up with, wait till after the funeral, let me talk to them. Why are we just doing all this, like, random shit?
No, hold on. This is the whole point. This is what I tell officers. Like, you just charge people for the time and the fine of the crime that they did. To double the fine doesn't make any sense. Like, they didn't do, like, that's not fair to the people that committed the crime.
Exactly.
The only people that hurts is them. Like, it doesn't really have any... It doesn't make any difference to LSPD. That doesn't do anything to us. That's just hurting the people of the city.
Yeah, it's
like, you isn't the DOJ supposed to be fair and unbiased? And this feels malicious.
I mean, it felt malicious the moment that legislation changed ad hoc the day we posted legislation up. The moment you had Blaine County being protected, and whether it was you, whether it was me, or whether it was Peter's, there was always something wrong. And even if you try to go with, and you can talk to Michael, it was the same thing. I'm telling you, you heard my phone call. I could not have been more cordial. Even with Michael's blood boiling over this, like, legislation we spoke to her with, and we're just asking for clarity. Can you explain the thought process behind this? It's just like you're fighting a wall. So, I'm about to have a press conference with the city in regards to this.
No, it's very, this is very odd.
I don't know. It's crazy. It's wild. So,
None of this really makes sense, to be completely honest. Like, just kind of how the DOJ operates doesn't really make sense because there should be checks and balances to things, but they're just kind of operating unchecked and just kind of, I'm just going to do what I want until somebody tells me not to.
Yeah.
Nope, it's Angel City, and we're just living in it.
Yep. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
Angel's just here
Nino.
to write the legislation.
Nino, I'm going to provide the away. Let me know what you think. So,
I love
stealing
you.
property.
Worst timing. Worst timing.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to have
Easy, no, no, go back.
Yep. I'll talk
Do
to
it
you soon.
again.
All right, bye. I love Alia, dude. Her timing is impeccable. So this is how bad it gets. The lumber conversation. She approves it. Next day she disapproves it. So we call it down and we're like, Angel, what's going on here? Can you like explain these things? We had a number of questions. First time we saw her in God knows how long, right? And we were looking to get operating hours for 3 different things, including lumber. The way we wrote it, intention was for the lumber activities down here, the lumber guys, their lumber planks literally disappear if the job ends. And it could take all day to do that stuff. So we put it in there. And she's like, well, I realize that you're controlling lumber in the north. And I'm like, we're not. She's like, you are, because the sign ends up there. I'm like, but that's not what we're saying. We're saying operating hours, right? Like, we inherently cannot, because it's Los Santos legislation. I could literally write, like, something about, like, I don't know, like, we're going to get rid of the sheriff's office. Like, there is no sheriff's office allowed. And that has zero effect in Blaine. It just means there's nothing over here. And that took that same tangential, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going on a bit of a, I don't know what we just dealt with is what I'm saying. I'm thinking like, I'm probably going to take the court of public opinion, to be honest. Because, to me, I think there was a foolish conversation that happened this morning with Tyler. It was knee-jerk. And the moment the public caught wind of it, this has been one massive backtrack and trying to point the finger somewhere else. That's how it looks like to me. And let me fix this by just altering the documents. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It seems very unethical on her part. All of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like she should just have a policy for when she changes legislation, and it should go through a contest phase.
What did she say about that?
About what? Well, the contesting makes it even more juicy, right? Let me ask you something. We can contest legislation, right? Put money up. But what is the point of a contestation if the judge can just change it? What are you contesting? You get what I'm saying? Like, imagine they go in there, you contest some law. You're like, okay, these two are unconstitutional. You remove it. As soon as that thing is over, they add it back in.
She said you can contest it. It's called a legislative audit. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, but Tilly, the thing is, if you do a legislative audit, they can just put it back in.
That's what she said. This is what she said on SWATA. Not what I'm saying.
Yeah. Wait, when?
She said it on SWATA an hour ago.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Anyways, I want to fill you up in the speed. It's gotten spicy. Somehow we've put our finger in the mix. You know what this feels like? It's like the Matrix. You know, when you take the pill, or like you point out like, is there an architect? Then all of a sudden the fucking Matrix is trying to kill you. I think she thinks she's the fucking architect or some shit. And you're starting to see like the two cats.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
It's very odd.
Yeah. It's a glitch in the
I,
fucking matrix, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Well-
I don't even know what to say, to be honest.
I would attend the court case. I think, you know, I would personally think it's a little concerning if there's a officer going around leaking internal shit. I think it's also, I don't want you to do anything to him. I'm just pointing it out, right? In case there's other patterns. Same guy who's talking about making sure that LSPD doesn't have interceptors in shift 1. Same guy who during this funeral is twatting fucking weird shit. I don't know how you come across saying that, like, you know, we want cops to die, or you're standing in a funeral with your 4 fallen people making memes. It doesn't.
Yeah, that motherfucker was on his phone the entire fucking time. Just.
Yeah. Anyways.
I love how he's saying that you ruined the funeral. I love that.
Oh, I didn't. I saw the one tweet. I didn't see the rest of it.
Yeah, he's been just saying shit all fucking day.
Yeah.
He's got your cock halfway down his throat by now.
Yeah, fucking. Wants to know wants to let everyone know he exists. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I'll never get over it, Miss Moore.
You guys can just keep walking. I'll catch up eventually.
All right.
No, we gotta be on you. We gotta walk together.
All right. I'm gonna get a pickup over here, Moss, because I need to start cooking on this.
If my car is still here, I can give you guys a ride.
Shit. No, it's fine because we're gonna go around the corner. I'm gonna meet the guys over here.
When is this press conference?
It's probably to talk about everything that's cooking.
When is it?
I'm aiming for about 30 minutes.
All right. You sure you don't want to ride?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to the funeral.
Anytime.
All right. I'll just look out for that.
Michael. Let's see.